Sorry. All right. We are back on the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. Again, live streaming here on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, Trovo, VK Live, Daily Motion, so on and etc. We have a, as usual, interesting, eclectic, humorous, intelligent panel. We even got some attractive looking people on here. We even got a woman on here. We got a female MCU fan. How about that? So just to go ahead and introduce her right off the bat on her first ever appearance on the Bleeding Edge and her first time ever recording and making MCU content. Jenae, it is nice to meet you, and it is great to have you on the Bleeding Edge.
Nice to meet you guys too.
We've got veteran of the game, of the content creation game, the host of the Geek Gauntlet, William. What's up, brother?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me here. It's good to be here once again.
No problem, no problem. And then, of course, we have some GNN folks here on the show again tonight. We've got
Hey,
David.
I'm GNN too.
We're all GNN, baby.
Everybody's
GNN.
If I had a GNN t-shirt, I'd be wearing it right now.
She's GNN and she's GNN. We're all
Yeah.
GNN.
We all GNN.
Hey, you're honorary GNN. So, anyways, we got David from GNN. He's back on the Bleeding Edge. What's up, David?
Just another Friday night.
All right, awesome. It's good to see you, man. I missed you. And then, of course, coming back, he got a second wind. He was hurting. He was tired. He was having a rough day, but he came back anyway and came through. We got Andrew from GNN. He's back. What up, Andrew?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again.
Andrew cannot get enough Bleeding Edge. So, anyways, this evening for us, and then I'll say hello to Sally really quick in the comment section.
What's up, Sally? Hey, how you doing, Sally? What up?
For us,
What's up, Sally? How you doing?
Hey, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, whenever y'all end up catching this video, we're going to be breaking down a CNET article from Eric Franklin, Marvel's MCU movies ranked from worst to best. Here's our list. And I'm basically going to go and cycle through these choices and then see what the panel thinks about this shit. So, right off the bat, number 22, The Incredible Hulk. The Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. That is what he's putting down as his worst MCU film out of the Infinity Saga. So I'm just going to
He crazy as all get out. He crazy as all get out. He's crazy as all get out.
I'll start with you, Andrew. What do you think, Andrew?
I mean, definitely bottom tier. Like if we would put it like from S to A, B, C, and whatever. But like last, I think that's a little overly harsh. Definitely not the worst. Not the worst of them.
Yeah.
Not by far. Definitely not great though either. So it down there, bottom quarter, bottom 25%. Sure.
Okay, Jenae.
I agree with Andrew. I don't think it should be like super low. I enjoyed it. It was actually, I think, one of the first movies my husband and I saw when we first started dating.
Oh.
And
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.
Did he get some Netflix and chill action that night, or what?
Oh
No, it was 2008. This was when Netflix was still mailing you DVDs.
Yup. Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Good point.
Started dating, so. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked it better than like the very first Hulk that they made. I don't know why they will go that low with it. I
agree with you 100%. I like the Hulk film with Edward Norton. William.
I like that movie. I think it was good for what it was back then. It doesn't deserve to be last at all. That dude's crazy. For what it was, and in that time period, for everything that you do production wise, I thought it was really good. Is it still bottom tier? Of course, but it's not dead last. And I think he's wrong for that.
David.
I'm gonna go with William on this one. I wouldn't say bottom tier like lower 25%. I'd go a little higher than that, and mainly because of all the Marvel characters, the Hulk is like my favorite. So there's always a soft spot for a Hulk movie. Just because he's
like
my
the
favorite
Hulk
character.
Everybody like the Hulk.
How dare how? Go ahead, David.
Oh, I was going to say, and the fact that they used the same props and some of the same story aspects from the 1970s Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno
stuff. Yep.
Yeah, they used the chair with the spotlight thing. I was like, oh, nostalgia! I remember watching this as a kid growing up. I loved it. It was great.
I'm just offended because someone said they hated Hulk. Who the heck gonna hate Hulk?
Like, how dare anybody put a movie with Tim Roth and Edward Norton as last? Like, excuse me, sir,
right?
You don't do that.
That's just wrong, man. That's just wrong, man.
No, and not only that, but look, of course, I mean, you got to remember that when Ruffalo came in for the Avengers, they had an opportunity to do the Hulk with Edward Norton and kind of see what worked and what didn't with that. You know what I mean? So they had a chance to kind of reflect on what they'd already done with the Hulk and then move forward with their own new kind of plan with the Hulk. And they kind of had an idea already of what kind of like the faults were with the Hulk and whatnot. So that set things up for Ruffalo pretty well. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to take anything away from him because he's been great as the Hulk. He has been. But it really makes you wonder, I mean, what kind of film would the Avengers been if Edward Norton had been in it instead of Ruffalo?
I think they would have clashed, like personality-wise, they're too close, in my opinion. Like, the way Edward Norton did it, I think him and Tony just would have been trying to go back and forth. Oh, I'm the better scientist. No, I am. I can figure this out before you, kind of a thing. But like,
clash of egos.
Yeah. But then with Ruffalo and the Avengers, like he was just smelled like I don't want to cause any waves or anything like that. I'm just
kind of
here, guys. Yeah. He was just like trying to, like a mediator almost, kind of a thing. So
sure. Well, go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna say, I mean, how I would have loved to have seen like Edward Norton and Robert Downey Jr. like on the same set, like on the same scene, like that. I can imagine like that scene in Avengers when they're like having the like, oh, what's so special about you? Like, take away the suit. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where they have the I always forget the name. It's called the Loki staff and stuff, and like how much more the scepter. That's right. How much more fun that scene would have been with Edward Norton like inserted in there. Would have been some great dialogue, I imagine.
The only thing that I think Edward Norton had, in my opinion, would have had going in his favor as far as the Avengers goes is Edward Norton looks like a little wormy scientist who you would not think could be pumped up into a big Hulk. He looks the part. Ruffalo, he would stand next to Tony, and he's almost as tall as Tony is. He may even be a little bit taller. He stands up next to Thor and all these other guys, and I mean, it's like in my opinion, Banner is always he's little, he's small, he's short of stature.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very built. He's skinny little wiry guy that spends all of his time in his lab. And then he turns into the Hulk, which is like, oh, that little guy turned into that? Holy smokes.
Yeah.
And now you've got a larger, average-sized man playing Banner. And don't get me wrong, Ruffalo does a very good job of playing the shy, soft-spoken, like she was saying with the Hulk, with Banner. But
what I think, honestly, David, I don't mean to step on you, but where I think Ruffalo really delivers differently than Norton is in the Norton Hulk film. It takes him like 15 minutes every time he's going to get angry for him to like talk about how he's going to get angry. Like, you don't want to get me angry. Like, I might get angry here. He's like looking at his watch and everything, and like looking at the watch, and the watch like has something to do with when
his heart rate.
Yeah, his heart rate.
So they put that emphasis on the transformation a little bit more.
Yeah, so I mean, it was almost like he was in a coma or something. Like it didn't look like he was really upset or angry. It looked like he was going to fall asleep. So I mean, with Ruffalo, like he knew how to deliver the
he knew how to get angry.
He knew how to get angry and sell it and make it authentic to where it sounded good when he was Banner and he was becoming Hulk, and then when he became Hulk, he was 10 times better as the Hulk than Edward Norton was.
Right. But if you're gonna say that, you got to say Eric Bana did it even better. He was always he'd get into his mode where he was starting to get angry, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna go fight Brad Pitt right now." Oh, wait, different movie.
Eric Bana just looks like he's upset and mad all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So is
That's
that
the way he lives.
smoldering?
That's the way he lives. That's the way he lives his life, angry and upset.
He would have been perfect, and that's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
I'm always angry.
There you go.
All right, so basically, then I'd have to say we've got a pretty much unanimous vote here that the Incredible Hulk as number 22 on this list is not a good fit.
I wish we could send that. I wish we could send the people who wrote that article, the one dude who wrote that article, this video.
Yeah,
and like you just need to rethink your whole strategy, cuz.
All right,
the whole strategy.
Out, William, number 21, the original Thor film. So coming in after the Incredible Hulk, we've got the original Thor film as the second worst MCU film in history. So I'm going to start off with you, David. What do you think of that? What do you think about the idea of the original Thor film as the second worst MCU film ever?
What?
I'd like to know what this guy is smoking in. Where can I get some? Because, I mean, seriously. Okay, so first off, did he not see the second Thor film? That was worse than the first one. And honestly, as far as MCU characters go, you know, I talked about Hulk being my absolute favorite. Guess what? Thor's a real close second. And the fact that this was the Thor movie, I was excited about that. I loved how arrogant that Chris Hemsworth pulled off the whole Thor character at the beginning of the film. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't even think of his name. Odin.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. I thought he was brilliant as Odin. I thought it was great. And Tom Hiddleston, you cannot look at Loki anymore and not think of Tom Hiddleston, you know, in any form, you know, cartoon, comic book, nothing. You cannot look at it and go, okay, because Tom Hiddleston is Loki, in my opinion. He is Loki, and he's perfect.
Agreed.
Just in that role.
Agreed.
And I like Kenneth Branagh as a director. I thought he did an amazing job. This guy is. It's not one of my bottom tiers. It would probably be up in the middle, but I really like the first Thor movie.
And I like the fact that David is actually bringing up how he likes to tier these films. If any chance y'all can do that, I think it would really be helpful to kind of go ahead and put that out there. If you feel like you can make that leap and say, you know, this is the kind of like the category or the section of the MCU that I see this film fit in. At, you know, please drop that. But no, I mean, I already put it in the description, David, that I think this guy was smoking crack before he did the article. So it's already out there in the description that he's smoking crack. So, you know, so we're clear on that. But anyways, Andrew, going to my left here, Andrew, what do you think, man? Thor, number 21, Chris Hemsworth, baby.
I think it's way too low. I agree with David. I would put this on the border of the bottom to mid tier, like right on the border. So like 26 20 around there. Out of 100, of course, not out of the movies, but the only defense I could think of is that Thor. I will admit, Thor, the first one, is a bit of a slow burn. It takes a while to kind of get going. It takes its sweet time to get going and stuff with the story. But I think we have to remember this was like third, maybe second MCU character introduced with a solo movie at this point, and it's like I think everything, like when we see Asgard, like I remember when we first see Asgard with the Rainbow Bridge and everything, I was like, wow, like that was beautiful, gorgeous looking set, everything. But like once he gets to Earth, that second act kind of drags a bit, I felt. Although like that's where we get all the exposition, we get all the characters and stuff introduced, but that kind of like I remember like thinking like, okay, this is kind of all right. And then by the third act, that's when we had like the redemption and everything, like everything was solid. But definitely not the second to last. I probably not even until at least maybe the 6th, 7th to last worst movies. Like, yeah, it's way too low. I think they're doing this for clicks, honestly. I think they're doing it for clicks at this point. So.
Well, you know what, and not only that, but I just want to opine and put in really quick that that movie had an awesome, excellent cast. Like seriously, Anthony Hopkins, you know what I'm saying? Tom Hiddleston, Natalie Portman was hot. She was really popular at the point that
she's always hot.
signed up. No, I'm just saying. I mean, what was that?
I agree. Andrew was. I agree. Andrew was.
Where she played the stripper.
Black Swan.
Oh, I cannot remember.
No, that was a ballerina.
Yeah, you Black Swan.
No, it was a stripper.
She played a stripper at one point in
really?
one movie.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to go look that up.
Oh yeah. She looks sexy in it.
Are you talking about Black Swan?
You done gave Dave a homework assignment.
No. It was with Jude Law and Julia Roberts. And
you got me curious now.
It won the Academy Award, I think, that year for Best Picture. It was 2004.
Natalie Portman as a stripper. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm finna Google this. Y'all got me curious now.
Poster.
Y'all got me curious now.
Poster.
Did it come out around the same time as Thor, or why? Or
no. But my point is that my point was just that it was such an excellent cast for Thor. And like Natalie Portman was she's still like a very like high value property in the cinema acting game, but she was really popular, really like, still pretty young and everything at that point.
She had just come off of Star Wars. She did Black Swan, which won Academy Awards all over the place. Yep. She was a hot commodity.
She also did Closer, and I think that's the movie you're talking about.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, she does a straight up open vagina shot. Like right in the film, like and everything. You don't. Yeah, I mean, she has like a thong on, so you don't see anything, but she does like spread her legs open and everything. Anyways, definitely worth a watch. But I mean, this cast is outstanding. You got Stellan Skarsgård. You know what I mean? Like, who is like a classically trained actor that can act anything, and he's good in every movie he's in. And
don't forget Kat Dennings.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, I did forget. That. Yeah.
How could I forget Darcy? Right. Man, are you kidding me?
You're right.
She has got some buxom like thick like curvatures going on like with her figure. I like it.
Jenae, I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm sorry.
No, she knows what to expect.
I personally I liked her in that movie for just the humor that she brought, especially when she called Mjolnir Mew Mew.
Oh yeah.
It's like Mew.
So anyways, I'll go to you, Jenae. My only point was just that movie had such a great cast. It really did. Like that alone. But I'll go to you, Jenae. Thor is number 21. Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, what do you think? How off do you feel like that is?
I think it's way off. Like, well, for my personal list, I would probably do like in between like a B and a C tier kind of thing. I think it'd be good. So, but yeah, I don't know why it was that low. It's like I would have thrown like the more because I personally didn't really like that one. So,
right there with
I don't like her
right there with you.
No. Hold it.
Right there with you.
You're not allowed to talk bad about Brie Larson or Captain Marvel on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. It's a rule.
The hell you say? You should have kicked me off. You should have kicked me off this show a long time. You should have kicked me off this show a long time ago. Then, because
I've seen the movie once, but I just wasn't a fan.
I think the episodes I've been in, that's been a big part of the show is destroying Brie
you
Larson.
You should have kicked me off the show a long time ago.
David, haven't you figured out already, man? I'm obviously crazy. Like I don't know what's going on from show to show. I don't know.
Man.
No, I'm just kidding, man. I can't stand Captain Marvel. It's like it's the worst MCU movie ever made. It's even worse than the Eternals. The Eternals is like an Oscar-worthy.
Hey, real quick. Side question. Captain Marvel or Thor 2?
Between the two?
Which one's worse?
I would personally rewatch Thor number 2 before I would rewatch Captain.
Me too.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That's a tough one for me because there were. I liked in Captain Marvel. I liked the Flurkin. The cat. I thought
The Flicker was cool. The cat was cool. The cat was
the
cool.
cat had a better range of emotion than Brie Larson did.
Yep.
Oh, but also,
Samuel Jackson was good.
But also the Stan Lee cameo in that one was the best in any of the Marvel movies, in my opinion, because he was reading the Mallrats script. And I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan, so it was like, oh, he's getting ready to shoot Mallrats.
Sometimes we forget how awesome those cameos always were, and like it's worth it to mention them. It really is, because they were really great. You know what I mean? And Stan Lee's a great man. But William, you know, just to kind of wrap up, you know, your thoughts here. What do you think? Like, I mean, where's this guy going with Thor at 21?
I don't know where he's going with it. That movie was very good to me. I agree with Jenae. That should be a B tier class movie. Just because of the cast alone, the cast was an amazing choice. And it deserved to be ranked higher than where he has it. And I just think he's doing this for clicks and views. That's what I really think he's doing this for. It's a terrible list thus far.
Well, there's a reason why I found this article interesting and worth bringing up with all of y'all. I mean, you know, I saw this. I've actually read the whole thing. So, I mean, but
it's still early, William. Right. It can get worse.
He knows what's coming.
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Yeah, it's going to get better. Captain Marvel is going to be the number 2 best film on the list.
Number
20, Iron Man 2. Robert Downey Jr.
Iron
Man
what?
2.
No. What?
Now, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there right now as the moderator here and make my one little just opinion, and then I'll go to the panel. Iron Man 2 is a classic. It's a good-ass movie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean, it like, I just watched it recently for a review on the Bleeding Edge, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was great. Justin Hammer is freaking hilarious.
Oh, in that movie. He's so good.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Sam
like
Rockwell.
Kevin Feige, bring back Sam Rockwell, bitch. Anyways, so reversing things up, starting things off, William, what is up with number 20 Iron Man 2 here on this article?
I don't know. I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed it. I loved the heck out that movie. Any movie that can bring you Tony Stark, and then it also, I know it's the second one, but that movie introduced us to Black Widow, which we have today. Yeah. On those two premises alone, that movie deserves to be a B tier. It doesn't deserve to be last at all, just off those two premises alone.
But now between Thor and Iron Man 2, though, if you're saying that they're both B tier, which one is better out of those two? Like, if you were doing your own ranking, would you put Thor ahead of Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 2 ahead of Thor?
I'd probably put, just because of my love for Scarlett Johansson, and y'all know I love Scarlett. I love Scarlett to death. I'd probably put Iron Man ahead of it, but that would be the only reason why.
I think it's funny how hypocritical William is with me, because he's like, you know, warning the female like guests and everything on the show about me and everything and whatnot, and like set me up for a lawsuit and everything. And
here he comes with Scarlett.
I love Scarlett. I can't help it.
We talk about Black Widow. He starts like,
I love Scarlett, man.
Getting excited and everything. So
leave me alone. I love Scarlett. Oh my goodness.
All right, so swing it over to you, Jenae. Iron Man 2. And just your general thoughts on the ranking of it as at 20 underneath Thor. And then the same question I asked William. If you're saying that, you know, I'm assuming you're probably going to say that Iron Man 2 would be a B category type MCU film, similar to Thor. So where would you put them in front of each other? Like, which one would?
I would probably still do Thor before Iron Man 2. Like, I liked that when they brought Black Widow, like one of my favorite characters, but I don't like how the movie was. It like I liked Happy in it as well, that he was like had a bigger role.
Yeah.
But like I might have to actually just rewatch the movie again. But like from what I remember, I'm like, kind of like I didn't like how they did Whiplash at all. And I would watch Iron Man 3 before I'd watch Iron Man 2. Right.
I prefer that Iron Man 3. I just did.
No.
But barely.
Ooh, hit some nerves.
So I go 1, 3, 2. I know, I'm throwing down.
I told y'all. Whole new perspective. I told y'all.
I think there's always that sense to some extent when it comes to the Iron Man films, where there is so much popularity with Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. and the Iron Man character in the MCU, to where I think there are people out there who probably do kind of like over elevate some of the Iron Man films, like Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3 to too much, you know, but they're still really, really solid, good, great movies. You know, David, what do you think, man?
I'm gonna put it I'm gonna put it around where Thor is. I'm gonna put Thor ahead of it, and the only reason I say that is not because of Scarlett Johansson, not because of the better cast, but because when Iron Man 2, when it aired on FX, when it aired for the first time, that was like a huge. Everybody watched it because my gosh, it's Iron Man 2.
That's true.
And then FX played it every day for like 4 months, and it was like,
true.
Okay, I'm tired of this. It was literally, it was one of those things where it was crammed down your throat so much that it was just like, I'm tired of watching. I really am sick of watching this. It would get a lower ranking on my list simply because of that. I loved Sam Rockwell. I want him back. If Chris from MCU Mondays was here, that's probably his number one because he loves Sam Rockwell. That's So
bring Sam back. Yeah.
So we need him back. We need Iron Wars back, we need Iron Wars to happen. Armor Wars, Ironheart. Ironheart was what I saw coming up on Disney Plus.
Right.
Riri, let's go.
All right.
So there's my thought.
All right, Andrew.
I'm very biased because I freaking love Iron Man 2. David heard me talk about this before. I think it's probably one of my favorite. It's like one of my favorite Phase 2 films. I absolutely do. No, that's still Phase 1, right?
That was still Phase 1.
Yeah,
that was still okay. Okay, favorite Phase 1 movie. Actually, honestly, I know Iron Man 1 is the better film, but Iron Man 2 is the one that's to me is the most special and the most fun to watch for me. It's the whole stuff with Tony and his dad with that scene where he's watching the projectors and he's like going through the stuff and he has like that his dad finally like getting that stuff off his chest about like he's like no matter it's like whatever like I've done like my greatest invention will always be you. Like it gets you in the heart. And just we have Mickey Rourke. I know he's not like the greatest, but he's like he has so much fun in the role as Whiplash. You know, I agree with Jenae, not an accurate or even honest Whiplash. He was like a combination of Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
But like we get War Machine. Like War Machine's like one of my favorite characters. We finally get War Machine involved. That last showdown in that Japanese garden with the cherry blossom trees and like they're just back to back. Like, it's such a
that
good
was cool.
Scene.
That was
and let's not forget that this is the first movie too where Sam Jackson has had a significant role as Nick Fury. Prior to this, he was only in the end scene for the first Iron Man movie.
I want to ask you, sir, to exit the donut. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The whole donut scene. So we got some good Sam Jackson stuff in this one too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not completely blind. I know Iron Man 1 is probably considered the better, like, act film. Yeah. But Iron Man 2 is much more fun, I guess you could say, for me to watch. I obviously do everything with also Sam Rockwell, the whole monologue when he's like showing the weapons and like he shows off the hammer tech, like he has like there's like such a great one. I can't remember it word for word, but he's all the nicknames and everything. Like he's just like like tell me what you want. Like it's like you're like a sphinx. I can't read you. Like I love there's so many. I think scene for scene, Iron Man 2 has much more memorable scenes than Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3, I remember. Well, we'll get to that when we get there. But point is, Iron Man 2 definitely for me. I'm very biased. Upper tier, probably like around C plus B minus.
So, okay, and of course. And this isn't going to be a surprise or a shock, I don't think. But it I mean, everything is a shock and a surprise in this article. But number 19 is, of course, Thor: The Dark World.
That should have been last.
At least it's here. At least it's here.
I just want to add some. I want to add some context to this, just so you guys have more of an idea what we're working with here.
That thing sucked.
The biggest problem with the Dark World is that it services Loki better than it does Thor. As a result, Thor is one of the movie's least interesting characters. He's trumped only by Malekith, Marvel's dullest villain ever, in his inability to make the audience care about his needs and wants. Still, Tom Hiddleston is completely dialed in here as Loki and is easily the most engaging character of the bunch. The production design is great, and the Asgardian world building is cool. There are also some awesome and inventive action sequences. It's just too bad that Thor, the character, gets lost along the way. Thankfully, that all changed with Ragnarok.
I'll buy into some of that. I can buy.
Me
that.
too.
Not all of it. Not all of it, though.
Not all of it, but the whole where he was talking about Loki being the
He was
character. And we're kind of getting lost along the way. I'll buy into that. And
Me too.
What's his name being the most boring villain of all? Malekith being the most boring. Sure, yeah.
Why even bring him in? I always wondered why they even brought him. Nobody asked for him.
No,
Nobody wanted him. He's got better villains. Yeah, better villains. My gosh, man.
But whatever.
No, go ahead, David. If you have anything else to say about Thor: The Dark World and this ranking, go ahead.
And nothing. It should have been
F.
I don't know about last because it would either be this one or Captain Marvel that I would consider my last, because, and then there's another one just slightly above those two. And
I think I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna wait, but I think I know what you're gonna say.
One. I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get.
I know what you're gonna say.
But this one's a tough call, mainly because, like I said, I like Thor, but I didn't like the story here, and I didn't like the way that the characters were portrayed. So I'm gonna have to rank it low just because. The one character cannot save it. Though my love for the one character cannot save this film. It's bad. It's just bad.
Sure, most definitely. I mean, but it's definitely not as good as the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, as far as I'm concerned. But whatever. Jenae, what do you think? I mean, Thor: The Dark World. You already talked about Thor: The Dark World earlier. I think that the one thing that I'll also say about the writer of the article, him mentioning the visuals of Asgard in the film is a good point, because Asgard looks stunning in Thor: The Dark World. Like, that's one of the positives for me. I just watched it the other day, and that was one of the highlights for me, was actually anything they did that was in Asgard. But go ahead, Jenae.
I liked it, but I haven't seen it in a while. My husband and I are actually going to jump back in and start over and watch all the movies again, because we think our daughter's old enough to actually enjoy them now.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but then we're like, okay, how do we go Iron Man, or do we go Captain America and go chrono, or do we go when the movie's
Go in
actually
release order.
Release order.
Release order. Always.
So, but yeah, I think I liked, but I was kind of disappointed that the way Thor acted, he kind of was like a moody teenager kind of a feeling. That's how it was. From what I remember, I have not seen it in a while, and I don't know, he was like, it just seemed like he was checked out, barely there kind of a feeling. So I get why it's low on the list. So, but I think I would need to rewatch it to actually make a better decision on it, because I haven't seen it in a really long time.
It's that low on the list that it did not give that much of an impact on you, that you can't even remember it after however long.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Ragnarok was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed Ragnarok. I thought that was pretty cool.
Ragnarok was good.
Okay, William, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Thor: The Dark World at 19?
I love the visuals, but I didn't like the writing. I didn't like the writing of the movie at all. I also didn't like the fact that was a good point, that Thor was overshadowed in that movie. As far as where I would put it next to last. Captain Marvel is going to be worse, but I will put it next to last to Captain Marvel. I just didn't like the writing. I didn't like how Thor did get overshadowed somewhat in that movie. And I hated that because while he's not one of my favorite Avengers, I still like Thor. So
Okay. So definitely then where would you if you had to place Thor the Dark World, does Thor the Dark World go in like the end like tier of the MCU films? Is
oh
it
yeah,
in like the D
but
category?
it'd be like the D category. It'd be like the D. It wouldn't be an F. I'll save F for Captain Marvel, but it'd be like a D category. I'll say the F for her.
Well, if you're gonna have
You're gonna F her? What?
if you're gonna have a D category or an F
never.
category, you have to have more than one film in it. You can't just have one film in the category.
I can have one film. I can have one film in the F category because that's the only movie I would put there. I mean, because I haven't seen a movie worse than that. Because her performance in that movie was terrible. She was very dry. She was very vanilla in that movie. And other people. Dave mentioned a good point. The cat had more personality than she did. Samuel L. Jackson was great in that movie. And that was a waste of money, man. Wait, another $10 I wish I had back.
Well, if I matched with Brie Larson on Tinder, Kevin Feige would have to pay me to hit that. Just to be clear.
Will ain't messing with it at
Just to be
all.
clear. Because
At
I mean,
all.
you know, after her performance in Captain Marvel, I don't even want to know.
I don't know. I don't know if it was her or if it was the suit. But in the suit, she was like built like the number one all the way throughout that movie. Just built like the number one. No curves, no nothing. I don't know if that was her or if it was the suit that caused that effect. I don't know. But nah, man, I can't mess with that movie. Nope, we'll never rewatch it. Nope. My daughter wanted to see it. My daughter wanted to see it. Nope.
Well, all you do is turn it on for her and let her go watch it. And you go into the other room.
All right, Andrew, what do you think, brother? Close us out on Thor the Dark World at number 19.
I was starting to worry once we got the first two films that we're talking about. I was like, I swear to God, Thor better be soon, and I'm glad they finally here on the bottom. Yeah, the article that you cited made sense when it talks about how it does a better job of servicing Loki over Thor. Because I remember one of my favorite lines from Loki is in this movie, and it's when Thor recruits him to go after Malekith, and he says like, "Oh, I wish I could trust you, brother." And then Loki kind of like stares at him and says like, "Trust my rage." I'm like, "Oh, it's such a good line." That's like one of my favorite lines from Loki. That said, Malekith, very two-dimensional, very boring villain, kind of almost like a DC villain. I would say
Steppenwolf version 1.
The prototype, that's right. Prototype Steppenwolf is just kind of there. No, that's a disservice. That's a disservice to Steppenwolf, I think, sort of in a way, but that's fine. It's a different conversation. But yeah, I think the thing here is Thor feels very bland here, where like at least in Thor 1, he kind of seemed kind of endearing a bit, where he was kind of like, I'll have another one. Like his manner, he's like, a fish out of water, right? In Thor 1. And in Thor Ragnarok, we get like the Thor we all love now. But here, he has like this weird midpoint here in Dark World where it's like the novelty of Thor has worn off, but we don't like him quite yet. So he's very bland, very high performance. But we do have a very pivotal moment for Thor, right? He loses his mom, Freya. That's a scene that's going to be referenced way later in Endgame. But this is a very plain, very not that great, right? Like David mentioned, not that great. It's kind of, I feel like they need, like, okay, we need something to be gapping between, what was it? Between Iron Man 3 and the next film.
Guardians
we need
of the
something
Galaxy,
to fill in the gap.
That was Guardians 1, right?
Guardians 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and
actually, the point to this one, and if anything, you need to watch it just because you got one of the Infinity Stones introduced in this movie.
Facts.
You had
the
ether introduced, so it was kind of necessary.
But the movie itself needed an animal. I swear it did.
Well, yeah, but
well, if you think about it, they were already starting like with the like woke woman power like bullshit even in Thor 2, because like you noticed how it was only because of Jane Foster and like Thor's like loving for her and loneliness for her and everything, that he straightened out and became like serious and cleaned up his act and everything and became like this do-gooder or whatever. Like that only happened after Jane. So, you know, like I think that's important to point out. But so all right, so at this point right now, it's very clear that the next film at number 18, Captain America: The First Avenger, is certainly not David's favorite of the MCU films. I know that for a fact. That's a personal.
This is my number 3. You've got Captain Marvel and Thor kind of taking up that last spot, and a very close is Captain America: The First Avenger.
All right, everybody. Number 18, Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, I will agree. I will admit I do not think it is absolutely the best MCU film, but does it deserve to be at spot 18? I mean, you know, what do you think, Andrew?
I wish I had more time to think now. First Avenger, it's very badly paced, especially like that second act, the middle part. I remember it's like a montage of factory after factory, and it's kind of just like what is even going at this point? Again, I have it hits my weakness. I do like a period piece, and this is like during World War II. I do like anything that's like a period or historical setting. I enjoy. So I feel definitely it is the weakest Captain America film. I can tell you that. But I think at this point,
I think everybody would agree with you on that, Andrew.
It would have been the last. This would have been the last film before Avengers, right? I think I'm trying to think back. And so yes. I remember watching in theaters. I'm like, okay, I don't know much about Captain America, and I love Chris Evans. Like Chris Evans is dope. He is Captain America. He's a great Captain America. That said, Red Skull, someone who won't be important till way later. Red Skull, not very interesting. Again, a Malekith issue, very two-dimensional. I want to be powerful because I want to be powerful. I was like, not that great of a motive. Love Bucky, love Sebastian Stan as Bucky here. But again, of the Captain America films, it is the weakest, and I think it definitely belongs. I would have put this like maybe 3 or 2 spots higher. I can think of a couple of films enjoy even less than it, but I'm not too upset about the placement here. It's not worth fighting for. So yeah, keep it here.
Okay, well, just really quick, this was the first MCU film to get the love story right before Marvel realized it didn't need a love story in each movie. The mutual respect and adoration between Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter that organically grew as the story progressed was something few films, superhero or otherwise, nail as well as this one does. Chris Evans' earnest portrayal of the self-sacrificing guy who just doesn't know when to quit only works as well as it does because Haley Atwell's Peggy is a real person with her own arc. She isn't at all marginalized and isn't there to motivate the hero. To the script's credit, their characters operate almost equally narratively, elevating the film way above lesser love interest fare. The action is fine compared with what we've seen since, but it's still entertaining in a homage kind of way. So, basically, William, I feel like me personally, if I had to just off the cuff, just kind of categorize or try to place Captain America: The First Avenger in like my MCU rankings, I would probably put it in the 3rd tier, like the C category. Like that's kind of where I would probably put it. Just because I think there are better MCU films than Captain America: The First Avenger. But I do want to say, I want to preface before I go to you, William, that this movie also had a great cast.
Yes, it had a good cast, and it also had a redeeming quality because you got to see Bucky. You got to see his origin story, so to speak, and that gave the movie value to be where you put it in that BC tier. And because of that value, I think that's where, I'll put it there, because if you didn't know who Captain America was, you living under a rock. But in case you didn't know who he was, it gave you a decent backstory. You saw his history there. So yeah, BC tier, most definitely.
The action scenes in this movie are pretty good. Compared to some other MCU films, there's a lot more action in the first Avenger than you see in some of the other films. Like Thor: The Dark World, for instance, there really isn't that much action.
Right.
But going to you, Jenae, What are your thoughts on the placement of Captain America: The First Avenger at number 18? What's the movie mean to you? Is it something that you're really into?
I enjoyed the movie. I'm trying to remember. One of the problems I had with it was because is the first Avenger before Iron Man 2, like when it came out? Because when they did Tony's dad, I was just like, why didn't they get the same actor throughout the whole thing? But then the dad is the same throughout the rest of the movies. But in the first Avenger, he wasn't, and that kind of bugged me. I was like, you get all these other characters.
Okay, so
that was younger Howard Stark.
That was younger,
but they made him younger in the other ones when Cap stayed for when they were trying to get all the Infinity Stones. So it's like, why didn't
that was
I don't know. That bugged me. It's just like, why not use the same actor unless they couldn't get him, which I understand, but it's like that kind of bugged me. I didn't mind the movie at all. My husband and I have an argument with it because he doesn't like it. He always skips when we try to rewatch the series. I have to watch that movie by myself. He will not watch it with me because it's too boring for him because it's too slow of an origin kind of a thing. He would rather just jump right into Captain America Winter Soldier. So
okay.
It's like, and I understand that, but this is, I don't know, I just like the nostalgia of it because my brother and I would watch the old VHS movies of shows of Captain America with the old cartoon and stuff and all that, and so like I just have that nostalgia, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I understand where it's at in the list, but it makes me kind of sad that they put it right there.
So
David,
where would you rank it then? Where would it go? Like, would it be in your B category, in your C category? Like, would it be?
I think it'd be low B.
Okay. All right.
I want to ask David a question real quick too. In chronological order, isn't this the first one? In chronological order.
Chronological order, yes.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to call the Eternals now, the first.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. But yeah, but we're not counting that one yet.
No, not yet.
David, it was on you to begin with, man. Please grace us with your thoughts on Captain America: The First Avenger at number 18 in this article.
Okay, so Captain America, I think the casting was great.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. You had Chris Evans. I can't even think of her name. Peggy.
Haley Atwell.
Hugo Weaving.
Yep, Hugo was in it.
Love Hugo Weaving. He's great. He's amazing. The problem that I have with it is that in this movie, Captain America, in my opinion, didn't really come into Captain America until Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier, Captain America was. I watched the first Avenger and I watched the Avengers, and then you see him in the Winter Soldier, and you're like, my God, where was this Captain America the first two movies? It's like, holy smokes. He was crowd control in the first Avengers movie. I mean, seriously. Yeah. It was like, all right, you're ruining this character. And then you do the Winter Soldier. It's like, okay, we fixed it. Everything's good now. But as far as this one goes, oh my God, it was montage, him training, montage, him selling war bonds, montage, him hunting Hydra. I'm like, is there going to be a montage within the montages? I mean, seriously, you're killing me. A good 3/4 of the movie was montage. And it was like, surely we could have done something to where we go and fight Red Skull in the first act, maybe even the second act of the movie. The second act of the movie, we fight Red Skull, we end up in the ice, and then the third act is there's something else happening, but now it's in regular time coming, So I did not care for it. I thought it was very boring. The only redeeming thing I think to this movie was I really liked the way that they made Chris Evans look like a little skinny weenie. the way, I mean, it was like they took Chris Evans's head and they put it on a 12-year-old's body. And it was like, oh God,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
it was
no.
awful. It wasn't like okay, so in the 90s, in the early 90s, there was a Captain America movie made with Matt Salazar. And yeah, I know it was bad, but whatever. But when they put him in the pod to become Captain America, they put him in this pod. He's already built, and it was like, and then they bring him out, and it's like, oh well, I'm still built, but now I can walk right. And it's like, really, that's kind of like, here they did a very good job of, okay, he's a little skinny kid, and now all of a sudden he's
big and bad, big and bad.
Exactly. So I like that. The training part of it, where I thought that was hilarious with the flag, where he said, you know, if you climb up the pole and catch the flag, you get to ride home. You don't have to walk home. And he pulled the pin out of the pole, and I mean, you know, just something like that. Look, he's smart. He gets it. He's intelligent. But other than that, it was just a very boring, very dry movie, and too many montages. And I was just, to me, it wasn't doing any justice to the character.
Plus, Chris Evans makes me sick anyway. How the heck you get to play Human Torch and Captain America?
Yeah,
I
right?
know, right?
The heck, man? The heck, man?
What happens when they do?
He does a way better job with Captain America, though.
You better hope you don't get no Avengers Fantastic Four crossover, because somebody gonna be.
You've got the multiverse going on right now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that great.
No, it wasn't that great. No. Jessica Alba made Fantastic Four. I'm just saying.
Well, okay. So moving down on the list, we are, I think, at number 17. If I can get my computer to work. And I want to say that I could go ahead and guess what this is going to be, but this ranking is so all over the place that I really can't guesstimate.
No rhyme, no reason to it.
No. So, 18, Captain America, the first Avenger. 17, Ant-Man.
Oh my gosh.
No.
The first one?
Wow.
Nah, man.
We had Thor the Dark World at 19. We had Iron Man 2 at 20. We had Thor, the original Thor at 21. We had The Incredible Hulk at 22. All right. Captain America, the first Avenger at 18. Now we got Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man at 17. So what do you think, David?
I would have ranked it higher than that. I'll say that because Paul Rudd is hilarious.
Oh, so you would have. So you actually would have ranked that higher up in the ranking.
Yeah. It would have been a higher tier. It wouldn't have been one of the bad films. It should be higher than what it is right now.
Oh.
That movie.
Okay.
Paul Rudd is hilarious. I love that. I thought it was great. That's one of the better ones of the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not obviously not my top 10, but maybe like 11 or 12 for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's close.
That's about right.
Because it's just it was really good, and the villain was believable. I like that they went with they didn't go with Hank Pym as Ant-Man. And they made him older, and that was great. I thought that was amazing. The whole scene where they're fighting on the little girl's table and the train's coming and it crashes and everything, and it just goes, it's like falls over. It's great. Glorious.
Okay, so basically, if it was up to you, you would put Ant-Man up in like the A-, like high B category.
Yeah. I'd say B. Yeah.
Okay. All right. William, what do you think? What do you think about Ant-Man at number 17?
I agree with David, but I agree with David for a different reason. I thought it set his daughter up to come down later down the turnpike, like you saw in later on movies. But I thought the movie itself was really, really good. It was written well. He had a decent cast in that movie. The movie had some comedy in it too. It was really a funny movie too. And again, Paul Rudd did a fantastic job, and he does a fantastic job as Ant-Man. Definitely somewhere 12, 13, somewhere there, I think would be fair for him to for that movie to be. It was a good movie to me. I don't see where anyone would have any problem with it.
Do you think it makes a difference that a lot of time passed between when they made the first MCU films between when they made Ant-Man?
I actually think it does.
Time, you know what I mean?
I actually think it does, because it helped perfect a lot of stuff. Between then and at that time period, it helped perfect a lot of things that was bad before that movie came through. So yeah, I think it did make a difference.
I mean, do you guys feel like, I mean, and anybody can jump in on this, open discussion. Does anybody agree with that would you agree with me that over time the Marvel Studios just became so much more consistent with their films, like over time, progressively, like it got to a point where they were always pretty good. Like none of these films are bad. They're not terrible movies. None of them are. But my point is just that they really raised the bar and like took things to a different level as things progressed and like evolved. You know what I mean? And I feel like I was saying to William, I think that I'm not trying to take anything away from Ant-Man or Paul Rudd or the cast or anything like that. But I feel like, at that point, Marvel had flushed out the formula more and they kind of understood what they were doing at that point more. So I think that probably lends to some of Ant-Man's greatness, maybe. But Jenae, what do you think?
I've only seen it a few times, but I did enjoy it. I'm surprised that I've not seen the second one, though, is the problem. My husband said it's not worth it because he has seen it, but I was like, I still need to watch it. So I'm surprised that it's lower than the second one. So
the second one's actually pretty damn good. It's not bad.
Is it?
Yeah.
We never got to see the Ant-Man Thanos thing though. That would have been fantastic. They're
going to kill me. I told them to send me a video holding an object and start nodding.
Anything is a dildo when you really put your mind to it. There's no such thing as too large or too sharp. Every time you stop to question yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I can and I will.
But that would have been that. But that's if they would have gave.
Why
us that
do you have
scene,
that as a clip?
Awesome.
Why do you have that like at the ready?
Andrew, you know what?
He was ready with it too.
The reason why I have that clip.
He was ready with it too, boy.
So that I can go back and watch these videos and see your face after I drop them. I like to see your facial expressions after you see that shit.
Oh man. Oh man.
The last time you came on, when I played that clip the first time, when I played this, you should have seen your face, dude.
And then don't forget and then the new one's coming out, and you're gonna see a little bit more of Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp. So yeah, boy.
Well, so anyways, Andrew, what do you think, man? Ant-Man at number 17. A lot of really positive, thoughts and opinions here for Ant-Man. People saying that it would actually be higher up on their ranking. What do you think?
Oh yeah, easily. I absolutely love Ant-Man. For me, it is a top 10 Marvel film. It is easily in top 10 for me. It's one of the few Marvel films I've actually seen 3 times in theaters, because I remember when it first came out.
Wow.
I had so much
wow.
fun with it. The thing I love about Ant-Man is it's not a traditional superhero movie. It's actually a heist movie with a superhero skin on it. I love like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12. So Ant-Man kind of does a lot of that stuff, right? He's not trying to be a superhero. He's given a job. He gets pretty much like he has a tryout for it. Like not, he doesn't know it's a tryout, but he gets this assignment. He's like, we got to steal, the yellow jacket. And then Daniel Cross, fantastic villain. He's really like deranged and very like fun to see on screen when you don't know what he's gonna do next, because he's very like calculating and conniving, but he's also like, he presents to have like a very friendly face, right? Like when he's with Janet, he's like very, I'm sorry, when he's with Hope, he's like very kind of like schemy. He's like very.
What was that show that he was on where he played a doctor or whatever, and there was like vampires?
I don't know.
Oh, he going back to the day. Yeah, because I think I remember that show.
That was
Yeah.
That was Paul Rudd.
No,
Paul
Paul Rudd.
Rudd.
The villain. The villain.
Oh, the bad guy.
Bad guy.
Yeah,
he was
Corey Stoll.
He played like a doctor in on this show that was out years ago, where everybody becomes vampires. It was really interesting. I just can't remember what it was called.
Is it? It's like a one-word title, right? It's not familiar. It's like the Scourge, the Plague, something along that line.
Yeah,
something
like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
But I mean, we get some great lines. We got the Baskin Robbins always finds out. We get what's his name? Luis with his trademark monologues of like everything that's happened with the whole art museum stuff, and then like, did you tell him to tell her to tell me? And I'm like, oh, I like all the side characters are so much fun. It's like there's
fun.
There's no one in that. There's nobody in that film who like I ever like roll my eyes at. Like I love the first Ant-Man. So good. So that's my favorite.
And then another thing too, I want to put out there for it, the character was so easy to connect to. A lot of times you get characters in these movies who we can't connect to, but he was one of the few characters that I really felt I connected with. And like I say, it was a funny movie. Anybody could go see it and have a good time.
I'm an electric engineer. I'll be able to find a job.
Yep. I'll be able to find a job easy.
All right, y'all. Number 16. I don't know what you're going to think about this. This might be a little touchy. We might have some hurt feelings. Number 16, we got Iron Man.
No.
The original Iron Man.
The first one?
Yeah.
No.
Bruh.
I'm gonna throw this computer out the window.
I mean, basically, what the guy has to say about it is director Jon Favreau set the bar high with the first outing of everyone's favorite genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. And because this is where it all began, the film will always have a special place in my heart. Upon subsequent viewings, however, it becomes clear the first half of the movie is far better than the second, which suffers from a few too many superhero movie tropes. The villain has the same powers, and Iron Man isn't fighting at full strength for the finale, but I watched Tony Stark invent stuff in his garage for 8 hours if I could. Iron Man is still a fun movie, but Marvel has gotten so much better. Well, yeah, Marvel has gotten so much better. I mean, this was the first
movie came out 2008.
Well, number 15 is Iron Man 3. So we're gonna couple these together. So we got 16 Iron Man, and they've actually got Iron Man 3 under and above the original Iron Man.
How you gonna hate on Gwyneth Paltrow? How you gonna do
Iron
that?
Man 3 above Iron Man 2?
How you gonna hate on Gwyneth Paltrow of any hate? No, you can't hate on Gwyneth Paltrow. No.
So what do you think, Jenae? I mean, I explained it to you. You got 16, you got Iron Man, 15, you got Iron Man 3. What do you think of that grouping?
I would choose Iron Man 1 over Iron Man 3. I don't know why he did it that way. He needs to stop. I personally, he needs to stop. And I rewatched. I think we just rewatched it recently. Like, still really enjoyed it. From even like remember sitting in theaters watching it, and that I don't understand why it's in that middle range. I would not top 10, but it's pretty close for me anyway.
Well,
So,
you guys tell me.
it's very enjoyable.
I don't mean to step on you, Jenae, but do you guys think it's possible that? Okay, so we already talked about the fact that there is that popularity that Chris Evans has, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man has with the fandom. Do you think that it's actually okay to kind of elevate the Iron Man films and like especially Iron Man 1? Do you think it's okay and it's fair to like take into consideration that it was the first MCU film? It started everything. It was the initial shit, the first superhero film that came out that started the entire deal. Like, you think that at the end of the day, I mean, of course you want to compare the films movie to movie, but does it matter that Iron Man 1 was Iron Man 1? I mean, what do you think, David?
So as far as Iron Man goes, this one is probably one of my top 10s. In fact, I might even venture to say it's probably top 5 even. And mainly because there's a whole nostalgia thing around it being this was what started it. This was where it all began. This was the first MCU movie that we got. And I remember going into theaters and I have since changed my habit. But when I went to go see this in the theater for the first time, I was like, okay, it's a superhero movie. I want to see it. You know, I like comic books and stuff like that. So I went to go see it. I was like, oh, that was amazing. But the credits started rolling, and I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I mean, I had to pee, and I left. I was like, the credits are rolling. It's done. And I left, and I went to the bathroom, and I left the theater. I got home.
Burpees will get you, man. I
got home and I jump online and it's like, oh, you got to stay. There's an end credit scene and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I get to go see it again. Yay. So, and this was one of the ones I saw several times in theaters just because I don't know. It was, there was just something about it that made it so good. I don't know if it was Robert Downey Jr. I don't know if it was, gosh, I can't think of his name. Obadiah.
Obadiah Stane.
Yeah.
Obadiah Stane. I think was last name was
Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges played the character. Yeah.
I was thinking Jeff Daniels, but yeah, Jeff
Tony.
Bridges. So
we need to work this out, man.
He was so good as a bad guy. You know, he was just so. I mean, he was so sinister behind the scenes, evil. And then when he got Tony Stark built this in a cave out of spare parts.
Yes.
I'm not Tony Stark. It's like, and God help me, I laugh out loud every time. That scene where he's testing the boots for the first time and he goes, we're going to try to 10%. What? It's funny. I know it's coming, and it's hilarious.
When I went to see the Eternals, people couldn't even stay for the end credit scene because the Eternals was such a bomb that people had to leave. They couldn't handle it. You know, so I just want to put that out there.
I was trained to stay until the credits were done by my father before like these little secret credit thing. My dad and my brother would just stay until everybody left, and he's like, "Okay, now we're gonna go."
You were kind of like Edward Norton in the Hulk film with the watch, where it takes like 15 minutes for him to get mad. Don't have me get angry. I'm gonna get angry here.
There's a reason behind that. You paid good money to go sit in that theater. You're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
Well, but we also got there early too to get those middle top row seats, and then because my dad would always buy popcorn at the end so he could take it home, and so then everybody would be gone. This would be down because they're going to the next showing, and so get his popcorn, and then we head out. But I was always trained to wait until the credits are done until you see the theater commercials.
It's because of this movie that most movies I go to now, I'll get up in the middle of the previews and go to the bathroom, just to whether I have to or not, just to make sure, because I know okay, this movie is 2.5 hours long, and I know there's something at the end. So
yeah,
I just go in a plastic jug. I mean, there's nobody going to the theater anyway because of COVID, so I just bring a jug. But, anyway.
The Amazon employee.
Anyways, Andrew, what do you think, man? I mean, how do you feel about this atrocity of Iron Man, the classic original Iron Man, being actually put behind Iron Man 3?
It's way too low. Iron Man 1 is one of those movies where it's in my top 10 depending on how I feel in the day. On that day, I think it's way too low. I do agree though with the first half of the film being better than the second half. I do think that's true. I enjoyed all the stuff leading up to, I want to say, right around when he goes to the Middle East and he does like the tank shoots him and like kind of just like gets knocked back, and then she's that little tiny rocket and blows it up. Like up until that point, I think that's like the best half of the movie. But the entire movie is a bomb. It's really good. So I disagree. I mean, I think of like all like the iconic lines, like they say the best weapon is the one you never have to use. Like I politely disagree. So the best weapon is the one you only have to use once. And like he does a demonstration and everything. Like there's so many great scenes. When he's on the plane with Rhodey and they're just like plastered drunk and they're just having like a moment like. And then we get like the establishment of him wanting the cheeseburger, right? First thing he comes back, he wants a cheeseburger. And then like that gets like payoff way in the future again with Endgame and stuff. So like I think
So sad.
Right. Everything Iron Man 1 is really a fun film. I know it's true, obviously, that there's better movies, of course, later on, but like we're starting off with Iron Man 1. And then don't forget the way the film ends, like I am Iron Man. Like before that, you never saw a superhero movie that would ever have like that kind of like mic drop moment. And it's just like, I don't know how I remember like David said, like, I agree where like I left the theater thinking like I just saw something that's not a traditional superhero movie.
And then the end credits leads to the Avengers.
Yep.
That's right. Initiative. Yeah. We have Nick Fury come out of the shadows and talking about some kind of plan or initiative. It's like, what? And it wouldn't be until I think a month later we got the Incredible Hulk, right? Or maybe it was like around the same time, a month before, a month later. I forget which. And we have the whole thing flipped again where Tony comes talking to General Ross, and it's like, oh shit, they're really doing this. Like, I remember being super excited with that, like those two movies back to back. So, way too low. Yeah. Are we talking about Iron Man 3 at the same time, Jeff?
Yeah, Iron Man 3 is actually ranked higher than Iron Man. Iron Man 3 is 15. Iron Man is criminal. 16.
No. Iron Man 1.
Put a warrant out for that man's arrest.
The guy says this is the best Iron Man movie. Thanks to a script and strong character work. So that's what he says about Iron Man.
How you gonna forget it? How you gonna disrespect the OG? The original.
Forget the OG. How are you going to put something as the best when you hype through your previews the greatest Iron Man villain of all time, the Mandarin, and then it turns out he's just a friggin' actor? Come on. That was the biggest FU to the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, they basically gave us the finger on that.
You, Steve from Bumble. Fuck you.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what they did. MCU Movies, go watch it. Spoiler alert.
I just heard
I didn't watch the trailers except for from the other movies, so I wasn't too like, oh my gosh. So
yeah,
disrespect the OG.
Jenae's one of those MCU people that doesn't watch trailers because she doesn't like to. So she actually watched. Which ones were they? Were they the ones for Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3 the other day, Jenae?
It was for I was watching the Iron Man 3 trailers, and I was like, I don't like, because the only trailers I ever did see, but I don't remember, are the ones that would play before any of the other movies. And
didn't you say that those trailers got you all jacked up?
And I was just like, what? I was like, if I would have watched them back then, I was like, oh my God, I would have been so hyped for these movies. I was like, what is going on? But I never, like, trailers when they didn't have the old school with the deep voice, coming to blah, blah, blah. It's like, it just didn't seem like, exactly. It just didn't feel like a regular trailer. And then, like, it always seemed like they would split. So I'm like, okay, I'm not watching any trailers unless it is like actually in the theater kind of a thing. And so a lot of the ones that you played, I was just like they put that in the trailer? It's like, I don't even remember that in the movie.
A lot of
That's
times
why
that
it's like hate cutscenes. It's like, why did you show me this if you're not going to put it in the movie? I hate you.
Right.
William,
So angry.
Geek
It just
Gauntlet.
make
What's up, man? Iron Man. Classic Iron Man.
it just makes me mad because again, you gonna disrespect the OG film like that. It's top 5 to me. It's top 5 because it brought everything in, and to disrespect it like that is just criminal. Like I said, put a warrant out for that guy's arrest.
What's up with Iron Man 3? He's got Iron Man 3 at 15. So like
that's stupid. That should be further down. That should be further down the list. I don't agree with. I don't know. That should be further down. That should be like, I don't know.
That should be an Iron Man 2 spot.
Yeah. But to have the OG film rated so low, nah, I don't agree with that at all. It should be top. It should be top 5. It should be top 5. Because I say it's the OG.
Yeah.
It ties everything together. Brings everything. It brings everything in.
It started everything. It's
You respect that point that it started everything.
Right.
So it shouldn't be where it is.
I would put Iron Man 3 in like my C plus, like like category, like my D plus, or whatever category, like somewhere around there, like, not at the end, but like close to it, kind of, I guess. But so
and again, and then my other last point, how you gonna disrespect Gwyneth Paltrow like that? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Well, that's a good point.
She named her kid Apple. Come on.
Well,
I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
That's a cute name.
Another really
That's a cute name.
point to make, and if anybody has any comments off this, just go ahead and drop them.
Oh,
but
man.
Kevin Feige, you got to give him credit. Like, I don't know what he said or did back in the day to get all these different actors and actresses to sign up with Marvel. Like, not only sign up, but sign up long term.
And
so
she
like,
was a thing back.
And
she was a thing back then. She still is somewhat, but she was a thing back then.
Again, Gwyneth Paltrow's like Skarsgård. She's like an Englishly trained, professional actress that's done like Shakespeare and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So she didn't have to be trained. She didn't have to be an Iron Man. She didn't have to be in the MCU. She didn't have to decide to do that. But that relationship, Tony's relationship with Pepper, and Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow's chemistry together ended up elevating that partnership, and them as a couple ended up elevating to a point where it became huge.
And it did it all the way. And it did it all the way to Endgame. All the way to Endgame.
It was something that you could rely on.
Yep.
And like was consistent throughout the whole like MCU. You had that relationship, that dynamic.
Yep. I remember in Civil War when we didn't see Gwyneth, we were like, well, like what happened to Pepper? Why is she here? Like she wasn't at all in the movie. And like it's like you can't have Tony without her. It was like weird.
I'll tell you right now.
That even in Age of Ultron, where they were at the party scene, and she says, Where's the ladies at? Where's Jane? Where's Pepper? Oh well, they're doing other things and they can't be here.
Right? Yeah.
Well, basically, this is what I think of the idea of doing an all-female MCU film or whatever.
Don't fucking say hello to me, bitch.
You know what though? An all film would not be bad if it was the right females. If you cast it right and you had the right mix of characters in that movie, you could make that work. You really could make that work.
I can see it.
Yeah, I could definitely see it, but you got to take time with it. It's not something you can just rush. You got to have the right characters in it, the right actresses and things of that nature, good writing. But yeah, I think that's something that you can make work.
You gotta let these young actresses mature like Sprite from the Eternals, because I wouldn't mind doing some kind of amateur filming with her potentially, like a Young Avengers.
But that's something else. That's what, because that's actually being talked about, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Young Avengers. That's being talked about.
You had the whole thing in Endgame where you had all of them there.
That one
we got this
scene. That
Spider-Man.
one scene.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
that one scene.
Yeah.
Now, if you did it just like that, and you took established characters just like that, and said, "Okay, we're going to do a movie,"
you can make that
would
work. You can make that work.
You say, "Okay, well, we're going to take 2 of these established characters, and then we're going to give you 4 or 5 others that are just they're in the comics." It's gonna work. It's gonna fall apart.
Well,
Right.
if they're gonna do that, there needs to be nudity. Like that's got to be.
No, it don't. No, it don't.
If they're gonna do the all-female MCU character film, there has to be a trade-off to the men that have to suffer through that bullshit. There needs to be nudity and some titties in there.
Wow.
But like I say, if you do it right, it can definitely work. It can definitely work and make you some money. It definitely could. Because if you look at the women of Marvel as a whole, there's really not a weak character as a whole. Within the realm, there's no weak characters there. Everybody is different, interesting. And maybe it can, I just think it could. I think it could work.
Maybe Mantis.
Are you forgetting about Captain Marvel or something? Like, I mean, come on now.
Captain Marvel. You don't even need her. You don't even need her. You can.
I didn't say
we're gonna cut her off the roster.
We'll throw her off to the side. We don't need her. We've seen her twice. That's all we need. She's gonna be in space anyway. Listen, she's gonna be in space anyway, so we'll just leave her over there. And we're gonna do the real thing in the movies. But it could work. An all-female cast could work. You just gotta do it right.
Whenever I watch the Endgame reaction videos, I always love seeing people's reactions in the theaters to seeing Gwyneth Paltrow Pepper pull up in the armor. The rescue armor. That was awesome. And like the crowd reactions from the theaters were like pretty massive for that.
Yeah. She got some pop. Most definitely got some pop.
Most definitely. But no, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, Ant-Man and the Wasp is number 14 on our list. And I want to say that Ant-Man was 16. So we had Ant-Man at 16. We got Ant-Man at the Wasp at 14. And then we've got hold on. The Avengers. The original Avengers at 13. Okay.
What?
So we've got the Wasp at 14. And then we've got the Avengers at 13. So
wait, that means the Age of Ultron is higher?
I'm going to talk to a judge and get an arrest warrant out for that dude because that's just terrible. That's terrible. Age of Ultron is going. So Age of Ultron is going to be rated higher than the original Avengers.
Wow,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Captain Marvel is going to be rated higher than the original Avengers.
That's crazy.
Now we're going to have to start throwing things.
I think this guy has definitely been taking some of Joe Biden's medicine. Whatever those pills are that they're giving Uncle Joe, I think that this dude's been taking some of them too. But anyway, so here we go. Number 14, we've got the Ant-Man 2 film. You guys love Ant-Man. Shit. Andrew went to see Ant-Man 6 times the first time in the theater. He enjoyed it so much. So I'm assuming you saw Ant-Man 2 like 13 times probably. But no. Andrew, what do you think, man? I mean, group it together. We got Ant-Man 2 at 14. We got the Avengers, the original Avengers film at 13.
Craziness.
All right, we're gonna pop it off. We're gonna pop it off real quick.
How do you like make sense of that?
Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't have a really strong opinion on. Really, if it's here in the middle, I have no problem with that. Honestly, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's just really kind of in the middle. Doesn't really do anything that's really crazy or special. Kind of forgettable. I mean, the only stuff I really like about it is the stuff with I forget his name, the agent.
Coast? Oh, Woo. Agent Woo. Yeah, Woo.
Yeah, Agent Woo.
Yeah.
I like his stuff, and then the whole Baba Yaga stuff, and then we with Hope finally getting like the Wasp suit's pretty cool, but like the ghost character, the ghost villain, was kind of just whatever. Like I think Daniel Cross is a much better villain than this one. So
she was about 2 inches better than Milketh.
Damn.
I guess sure. Yeah, not much better than Malakath. That's right. But
I said 2 inches.
Okay, moving on to Avengers. The first Avengers is a bop. It's one of the. Oh, I remember watching that movie and like that. You get that awesome scene where they pan around and they're all like together, huddled. Like such a great scene. I don't know if I have enough time to talk about all the merits of the first Avengers film, but I can't believe it's lower than. I'm still stuck on it being lower than Age of Ultron. Like I can't even like think.
Ain't nowhere in the hell.
The original Avengers film is so good. I should have had the Avengers trailer here to play right now because it's that good. The film, like I should have had the trailer ready to go. But no, Andrew, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you, man.
No worries.
What do you think? I mean, honestly, dude. I mean, maybe this guy's just looking for clicks. This is supposed to be the
most
ranking. But I mean, like, honestly, man, can you even imagine the crazy shit we're gonna find at like 4 and 5 and 6 when you've got like the Avengers at 13?
Well, the good thing is I'm seeing so far that none of my favorite films have been mentioned yet, so that tells me they're going to be much higher. So I'm still holding on that little glimmer of hope. That said, I'm kind of one thing you haven't really mentioned, Jeff. You said there's 22 films, but there's way more than that MCU film. So I'm wondering like where the cutoff is for what was included. But yeah, Avengers 1, terrific film. I mean, we finally get everybody in. We have all the Avengers mixed in, and it doesn't feel like a cluttered film. Like everybody gets their moment to shine. We have we finally get
to like Captain America. He was crowd control.
True, but we did get to see him finally interact with the rest of the group. Like again, that scene where they're on the helicarrier and they have like, you know, he's like, take away the suit. Like, what are you? He's like billionaire, was it philanthropist,
playboy?
Yeah, like we do get to see him do stuff other than just like, I mean, he takes on a full-on hammer shot from Thor, like when he tries to break up the fight, like in the beginning of the film. Like he does do stuff. Yeah, towards the end, yeah, it's just crowd control, but like he has moments throughout the film. Like, I get that reference. The Man Out of Time stuff is like so great. So I'm sorry, William, go ahead.
The one moment that I did like was when Iron Man shot his repulsors at the shield. He bounced off his repulsor rays at the shield. I love that moment, man. That was awesome. Oh, whoa, a team up. Whoa, okay. It's only one move, but yeah.
You guys remember when Steve picked up the gun at that one point and started shooting that gun?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I mean, seriously, that was rough, man. Like I felt bad for Chris Evans with that scene, man. He did not look very authentic or very badass at all with that machine.
He didn't look comfortable.
No.
He didn't look like Captain America.
No.
But I mean, basically, going over to you, Jenae, what do you think? I mean, of course, we all, as individuals and fans, we all have our own personal rankings with this stuff and everything, and I respect everybody's, you know, lists and whatnot. Like, it is what it is. Everybody likes what they like. But at the point that, like, literally Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is about to be rated above the Avengers, what do you think?
Not okay with that. I love the Avengers. I do like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but I still prefer the first one. But I never saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I can't give a good decision on that. But I'm very sad that Avengers is not higher on this list. I don't understand it at all. I've loved that movie.
Where do you put it if you had to just like give us your personal ranking yourself, just like real quick off the cuff? Where would you have the Avengers on like in your categories?
I'd say at least in between the S and the A tier is where I would have it at.
You know what S? That's what I'm talking about.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
it hit all the best notes. I loved when the Hulk and Loki had their interaction. He just beat the crap out of Loki. He's just like,
bam, 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 bam. And then when he looked at him,
that's like that. When
he looked at him,
like, did that just happen? yeah, that was like one of my favorites was
That was awesome.
that.
That was awesome.
So.
William, what do you think about what do you think about the trajectory of this ranking, like the direction this is going right now?
I'm scared to see what's above it. I'm scared. But Avengers, the very first Avengers movie, man, that's top 5 movie, man. That's top 5. You just can't disrespect it, man. Again, the OG, you just can't disrespect that movie at all. Yeah, it had some faults in it, but overall, it was a great movie. As far as Ant-Man and the Wasp, meh. But no, you raised Avengers up higher than that, man. Come on, you got too many good scenes in that movie in order to be treated like that. I just wish we'd have got Scarlett's movie earlier than what we did. But outside of that, just it's an OG top 5, and in some people's mind, it's probably a top 3. So,
well, listen, guys. If anybody has any last thoughts on anything we've talked about already, or on the Avengers, for instance, or anything you want to say, feel free to go ahead and drop your opinions, your comments, because I'm thinking we'll go ahead and cut the article here at number 12, which is going to be our next film, just because we still have another half of the list to do, and we're an hour and a half in. So why don't we go ahead and let's wrap up our comments on the article.
Okay.
If you have anything to say about the Avengers, go ahead and say what you want to say. I mean, I think it's a good topic to talk about. And then we'll get into the She-Hulk trailer, watch and react to that, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
I think
sounds good.
I think with me, you missed me on the Avengers and the Ant-Man thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I could throw my 2 cents in now. So with Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think I would where Ant-Man was on the list, I would swap it with Ant-Man and the Wasp, just because I liked Ant-Man better. Ant-Man and the Wasp was good. It was okay. It had Lawrence Fishburne in it, which was great. And you introduced the what was his was it Samson? Was that his name? The character's name in the comic books? Or Goliath?
Yeah.
I think it was Goliath. And you also introduced a quantum realm. Well, sort of, kind of more of an in-depth look at the quantum realm.
So it was like, okay, this has significance, and especially going forward, it's going to have significance. But the Avengers, so low.
Classic, man. Classic.
No.
Bruh,
I'm going to say that's for me. I mean, I can watch that movie and the scene with everybody, and it does the pan, and I still get goosebumps just seeing that. The score
Me too.
is amazing.
My girl Scarlett was amazing.
I know I always talk about how much I love watching YouTube trailer reaction videos, of the MCU trailers. I love them. And I'll tell you right now, Jenae, they're fun to watch. I know you don't watch trailers, but the trailer reaction videos are awesome. But when you watch those initial trailer reaction videos of people watching the trailers for the Avengers, people looked like they were like seeing a ghost. Like they looked like they were going to lose it over like what they were seeing. When they showed that pan shot, that rotating shot in the trailer, people were like, their eyes were bugging out of their skulls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. Because, I mean, you got to remember, it's like, I mean, I think it's already been mentioned by somebody during this. At one point, when they first started flirting with the idea that they were going to give us the Avengers, you didn't know what to think. You didn't know if it was real. You didn't know if it was actually going to happen, if they could pull it off, And then when they delivered on it, it was like friggin' surreal. Like, seriously, it was like surreal. And so for me, I feel like, for one thing, I think that the Avengers film almost needs to be in its own category. Like, it shouldn't even be compared to the other Avengers films. I think all the Avengers films have their own individual identity. And I think that you can compare them for fun. Like, we can, just to make things interesting, we can compare them, we can rank them, whatever. But at the end of the day, each individual Avengers film has its own identity, where, in a way, it almost does them a disservice to try to compare them to each other, because they're all so different. And they were so impactful. And just the last thing I just want to mention is just that we're going to get into Age of Ultron when we come back and do a part 2 to this. But Age of Ultron is a really, really good movie. It really is.
I just want to say something about that. I know a lot of people who say Age of Ultron is better than Endgame. I know at least 3 people that will tell you that. So I know 3 people.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
I know 3 people that will say Age of Ultron was better than Endgame. I ain't one of them, but
I was just mad at Endgame. I was very upset when I left the theaters on Endgame. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll save my thoughts on Endgame for when we
I was upset about Age of Ultron because how Vision died twice. Bruh, come on. How you gonna kill somebody twice? Bruh.
Well, either way.
I'm gonna get a do-over to kill you. We're gonna do it again. And man, come on.
I think that at the end of the day, Endgame definitely impacted people more emotionally, like in the theater when they watched it, than like Age of Ultron did. But Age of Ultron did a lot for like its time, for where it was at in the MCU. It really did a lot. And, I feel like, does it make sense that it's a very watchable film? Like if you have to put something on in the background, like out of the MCU films, Age of Ultron is a very comfortable film to just throw on in the background. Like it's fun.
Because it's got James Spader as Ultron, and he's amazing.
Yes.
He is so much fun to watch.
Man crush. Man crush on James Spader.
And Scarlett did a whole lot in this movie too. Oh my goodness. She did a whole lot.
Except for the forced relationship with Hulk. That was just stupid.
That was just dumb. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Look, I did not like that.
Except for the very end when he goes and rescues her and she says, "Oh, you're so sweet," and then she shoves him off the cliff and says, "But I need the other guy right now." And he comes back up as Hulk. I was like,
man, I did not like. That's the only time I didn't like Hulk, when I had to see those scenes. Man,
well,
come on.
You know that when it comes to bedroom
I love
time,
Scarlett, man. I love Scarlett, man.
Scarlett doesn't want Bruce Banner. She wants Hulk.
I love Scarlett.
Yeah,
man.
that's what Tony said. Have you guys been playing Hide the Zucchini? What do you think that was a reference? Come on.
Well, I don't understand why in the Winter Soldier they hinted like some sexual tension between Captain America and Black Widow.
They did do that. That's true. There wasn't anything at all.
I was so upset, and it's like, so did those flirtatious things just go away, and now you're?
I don't think there was flirtatious, because she was trying to set him up. She even said
exactly.
About like, what about James from accounting? And he's like, she's the one with the the nose ring. Yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
I don't think
Black Widow is one of those chicks where like with Steve, like that she would be one of those game changer chicks for Steve that he wouldn't even know what to do with. So like that's why he was trying to set him up, because she knew that Steve couldn't step to that. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but she's one of those kids. Man, if you ever got with her, man, you just gotta remember whatever she asks you to do. Because if you forget to take out the trash, that's you. That's you. Honey, I forgot to take out the trash. Bruh. That's like being in a relationship with Wonder Woman. You forget to do something, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Telling you, man.
Well, you gotta give Steve props though. I mean, he could have had like a mom, like an aunt and like a niece together if he wanted to at one point. I mean, so.
But he still makes me sick, because when you go back and look at Fantastic Four, he had every woman in the Fantastic Four as Human Torch, and then you come over here, Avengers, you messing around with Scarlet. I hate Chris Evans, man. I hate that dude.
You're gonna punch him in his face.
I'm gonna punch him in the face whenever I see him. I hate that dude. Jeez, man. You know how many women thrown at you?
I wouldn't mind borrowing his face for like a couple weeks. So like, I can just put his face on.
He'll borrow your face for a little
bit. And then rock like my body with his face, kind of like the scrawny Steve from like Captain America: The First Avenger with like the Chris Evans head. And, like,
my goodness.
The crackhead looking Steve or whatever.
The small, the 12-year-old Steve.
Oh
man. Man.
So anyways. what's up with this friggin' She-Hulk trailer, man? I've been waiting
Wasn't
all day to
long.
watch this.
Wasn't long enough.
Well, let's see what's up.
For years, I've been treating the Hulk like he's some kind of disease.
Well, what happened?
But then I started looking at him as the cure.
She won't last.
3, 2.
Your name is Jennifer Walters. You're a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer and a superhero. Bruce.
You're burning up.
Also spiking.
You know the Incredible Hulk?
That's my cousin.
Your cousin is the Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Were you surprised?
She looks great. She looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see this. I want to see her get a legit run.
That was way too short. Way too
short.
But you know what, though? It hit all the right notes because she's the cousin, and that was mentioned.
Yes, it was.
Obviously, there was an accident of some kind, and it looks like we're going to get the whole blood transfusion story. I'm curious, though, as to where in the timeline this takes place. Is
That's
this
what I was thinking.
pre-snap or post-snap? Because we've run into an issue now with I don't know if you've seen Shang-Chi yet.
Yeah.
But you had the end credit scene for Shang-Chi, and I'm gonna spoil things for you. But the end credit scene was they're trying to figure out, okay, where did these 10 rings come from? Blah blah blah, and Banner's there, not Dr. Hulk, not Professor Hulk. It's Banner. So what happened and Shang-Chi has already said that this. I think they came out and said these events take place after Endgame, as far as on the timeline goes.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Everybody's been snapped back.
Yeah.
So what happened? I'm hoping maybe we get an answer to what happened. Why did Banner come back instead of
David? All this stuff is after Endgame. All of it is. It's all set after Endgame.
And there's so much you can do with this character. We might be able to see Titania from the Wrecking Crew from the comic books to be one of her main bads. So there's so much you can do with this. I'm so hyped up for it.
I hope they put Jessica Jones in this. I
You
think
know
this
what?
will
You
be a great
could.
spot for her.
That would
You
be
could.
interesting.
That would be cool.
Well,
You could.
You're dealing with what you call it, lawyers. Matt Murdock.
There you go. Yeah,
We already know that Charlie Cox is going to be in the series. We don't whether he's going to be Daredevil. We don't know. But Jenae, what do you think of the She-Hulk trailer?
I really enjoyed it. Like some of the actors, I'm like, hey, I know that person. That guy's from the League. But like the girl that's playing She-Hulk, I was like, who is she?
Maslany.
It looks really cool. I might.
It does.
Like,
it does.
watch that. But I've only known bits and pieces of the storyline for She-Hulk from what my brother has told me. But it looked really good. But then I was confused with the whole Banner. I'm like, okay, where is this set in the timeline? Or are we in a different offset or a universe or something? Kind of a thing. It's like, what's going on? I thought it was going to be the Dr. Hulk. I was so confused.
Tatiana Maslany. That is her name. And she used to be an Orphan Black.
I haven't seen that.
That's Tim Roth is coming back too.
As Abomination. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking, but I don't see Charlie Cox on here. So right now, as far as I know, that's just a rumor.
It is just a rumor.
So
But again,
Andrew,
you could do
let's get
so
let's
much.
get to it here, man. What do you think, Andrew?
Was that really the trailer that they showed? Is that the real official one? Because
Yeah,
I saw
that's
a lot
the
of.
teaser.
It looked like
There
a
was a
lot
few-
of looked like a lot of recycled footage, especially of Banner. A lot of that, a lot of that looked like recycled footage, and I think some of those scenes are from Orphan Black. Because
Well, you know what, Andrew? Hold on. Let me just really quick, since you mentioned that, I just want to say that when I went to try to find the teaser, there really wasn't much of an option, like for me, and I really couldn't tell.
That might have been fan made.
I couldn't
I'm pretty
tell based off
sure
the views
That
on
might
it.
have been fan made. Yeah.
Because honestly, the only videos that were talking about like showing the trailer from today were ones that were like breakdowns on like everything always and the Cosmic
Not
Wonder,
just
you know
not
what
just
I
the
mean?
trailer. Not just the trailer itself.
Yeah,
I think if you have Disney Plus right now, if you go on to Disney Plus, all the stuff that they announced today, they've got, because I was looking at this before we started the show tonight because I was Obi-Wan. I was looking for Obi-Wan. I wanted to see the trailer. And if you go search up Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Disney Plus, you get a, hey, look, we're making this, and here's a little sneak peek kind of thing. So I'm thinking, and I haven't checked for She-Hulk, but I'm thinking that if you go onto Disney Plus and do a search for She-Hulk, maybe possibly you'll get a little snippet of what they showed at the Disney Plus conventions today.
the biggest giveaway is that they're still using that trailer used the old She-Hulk logo. They have like a new, ugly, simplified logo for the show now, and that used the old She-Hulk logo. So that was like the big giveaway. And then all the teasers I've seen for it are only like 30 seconds long. So the fact that that was like so
that was a
long,
little bit longer. That was a fan made.
Yeah, that's fan made.
Yeah.
The actual teaser is only like about 30 seconds, if that. So, and they're using the old logo. So I'm like, wait a minute, because I've seen Orphan Black before, and so when I saw like that looks like old recycled footage, I'm like, because they're tricky. They're really good at making these fan made trailers, and I was like, wait, something's not right.
I saw one for Spider-Man the other day with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it, and I was like, oh my god! And I'm looking at it going, holy crap! And then I'm looking at, no, that's fan made. It's got to be fan made. Oh, it was driving me nuts, but I was like,
you gotta check the source.
Yeah. As long as we get it, that's all that matters to me. Let's go. Let's go. Love She-Hulk. Let's go.
I don't know much about She-Hulk, honestly. I know there's I seen some outrage on Twitter where some people were upset that even as She-Hulk, she's like very thin, which I mean, I know she doesn't get like Hulk big, but I don't think that's
I thought she just got buff and like a little taller, kind of like the whole
right. Yeah, like
Dora Kira kind of thing.
Go ahead, William.
Yeah, because she's tall and buff. When you look at her in the comics, she's tall and buff. Now there's some adaptations of her that's not like that. If you go back and watch that newest Fantastic Four cartoon, she's still tall and sort of kind of big, but she's not overly tall and big. But yeah, for the most part, she's tall and buff.
Because some people were complaining that she was kind of lanky and thin, even as like transformed She-Hulk, not just the regular actress, but even as she transformed.
She puts Big Barda to shame, and that's saying a lot.
So, with this one, are they using a CGI She-Hulk? CGI She-Hulk. Are they going to do? Yeah, I know, right?
Thanks.
Are they going to do that, or are they going to use this Tatiana as? They're just going to paint her green like they did with Lou Ferrigno in the Hulk show.
They might do the thing with like kind of like not prosthetics, what would you call it, but like they might kind of like give her like, you know, stuff her shoes or something with something to make her look taller or something.
Are you going to get a Captain America and the Winter Soldier second season?
That'd be awesome.
We know we're getting Captain America 4.
Oh, it's Captain America 4. They got the movie coming. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, real quick. I looked it up. According to the Marvel Dictionary, She-Hulk is 6'7" and she weighs 650 pounds.
Oh, is
according
that
to the Marvel Dictionary?
Jenae,
she weighs about as much as Thor.
Jenae, what do you think about getting? I mean, you don't even watch trailers, so how did it feel to watch that?
You got to be hyped up.
Yeah.
Even for Hawkeye, you got to be hyped up.
Oh, she's muted.
You're muted, Jen.
You're muted.
You're muted. Hit your mute button. Hit your mute button, Jenae.
Wait a minute. You're muted, Jenae. We can't hear you.
We can't hear.
I forgot I muted myself.
One more review!
I
You
really
gotta be
enjoyed
hyped
it.
Okay, there we go.
I went to school for graphic design. I don't like the Hawkeye logo.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I
ass.
don't know if they're paying homage to Hawkeye with his daughter having the purple jacket. I don't understand that. That's not very stealthy. But I got goosebumps from watching those trailers. They're pretty cool. And I've never.
Yeah, I mean that Hawkeye thing kind of surprised me. That was really extended.
Yeah, I was like,
it's
okay, it's still going. It's still going.
It's about to hit. It's about to hit. So yeah, that's why.
It's like we're 12 days out from it. So
yeah,
I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's
That's
all
why.
done.
Yeah.
They're just waiting on time at this point, so they can show a bunch of stuff on that one.
Yeah,
I
let me mention, you know what? That's a great point for me to mention that I hope that some of you guys will all come back for a Hawkeye review of one of the 6 episodes when we do the reviews of the Hawkeye series. I hope all of you will come back at least for one of those reviews, and grind one out with us over here on the Bleeding Edge. So anyway, So what's everybody's thoughts? What's everybody think about the extended Hawkeye trailer? What do you think about Moon Knight? The first look at Moon Knight, very interesting. Andrew?
I'm thinking still rapid fire real quick. I am Groot. I'm gonna be super annoyed by hearing that phrase over and over and over, so I'm not looking forward to that. That's gonna grate on my nerves.
I am Groot.
Marvel Zombies. I have no idea what that's gonna be exactly because I saw the Zombies episode of What If, and it was like okay, but I can't imagine a whole mini series about that. I feel like that concept is gonna get worn out really quickly. I'm very excited about Moon Knight. Moon Knight, I think, is by far the one I'm the most hyped for. It looks really, really dope. I love the darker kind of thing that's going on with the multiple personalities, and I can't wait to see what the final suit looks like. So that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Hawkeye, I like that. Hawkeye's giving me like Die Hard vibes. I like the whole Christmassy kind of atmosphere of it. I know William hates it. But I like the tone.
You're killing me, man. William, you and all this hating for Hawkeye is killing me, man.
I just never liked the character. I've never liked him. Never,
He's one
ever.
of the original 6 Avengers, yo.
I don't care. I've never liked him as a kid. Never, ever. And I came on this show with one question: why Hawkeye? I've never been a fan of his. Never, ever, ever. Green Arrow, yes, because he comes from a darker past. He has a little bit more lore to him. But as far as Hawkeye goes, yeah, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. got kicked left or got kicked out, however you want to say it. Got lucky to join the Avengers, and that's about it.
Why can't you just be optimistic for Hawkeye?
There's nothing, but the character, the series may be good. Don't get me wrong, but just as a character, as Hawkeye, there's nothing special to me about Hawkeye. There's nothing that I can look at and put my finger on and say this character is more special than that character. No, because
what
at the
about
end
his relationship with Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow during the films? You love Scarlett Johansson.
Well, first of all, that made me hate him even more because he got to be around her every day. That's the first thing. Second thing, I just don't like the character. The actor is fine. Don't get me wrong. Jeremy Renner, good actor. I just don't like the character. I just don't care for the character. And man, the more Ronan we get, the better off I'll be. Because I'm with Andrew. I like darker characters. A lot of people ask me, who do you like better, Batman, Superman? I'm always going to say Batman because at the end of the day, I like a darker, more brutal type of character. And that's what Ronan is to me. Whereas Hawkeye, right. But when it's Hawkeye, he's just, he's boring. He's monotone. And that's what I don't like about it, man. I don't like Hawkeye as a character. The series might be good because of the action and where the fans might lead it, but I just don't care for the character.
What's color on my only superpower is unbridled cancer. Give me a bow and arrow.
I just want to put it out there right now. I'm going to be, when Hawkeye comes out, the first episode, and we do our first review on the Bleeding Edge, I'm going to wear my Ronin Halloween costume and get drunk as shit. And
there you go.
Cover it.
There you go.
With my
There you go.
mascot and everything.
Look, if the series is good, I'll be the first to admit it. It's a good series, but as far as the character itself, you can't sell me on the character because the character is just monotone and boring.
I do like how we get that. I do like how they get that one continuous shot though. Once they get in the car and like you see all the action going on around it, I love how we kind of get that.
You know
like,
what I was thinking
no
when I saw that? I was looking at it going, "Oh my god, it's like a video game." This is like one of those old video games where you're in the car and you've got the maybe one you played at the arcade with the zapper. Where
Right.
I can see that. Yeah. The Miss Marvel, I really have very little understanding of who exactly Kamala Khan is. Although I like what I've seen so far of the character because I'm one of the few people who actually bought the Avengers game that came out earlier this year, and Kamala Khan is like she's the main character that you play as, and she's probably the only good part of that entire game.
That game was terrible. I spent $60 on that. I spent $60 on that game. That game was terrible. Hey, Dave, let me ask you this real quick. David, real quick. Would you count? Would you count Ms. Marvel as Rookie Eternal?
No.
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
No. I think she's gonna play into because one of the movies they have coming up in the very near future is the Marvels.
Yeah.
That's gonna be Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, a team up movie, which I'm just looking at it going, oh, I've got to go watch it because it's part of the MCU. But I really
which Miss Marvel though? Well, maybe we get Monica Rambeau in it though.
I'm not. Maybe that would make it bearable,
somewhat passable.
But the thing with it is even you're gonna say Miss Marvel. I'm not the biggest fan of the character Miss Marvel. I'm not the biggest Miss Marvel fan. I'm just for me, she's kind of like Squirrel
Girl.
I'm looking at Squirrel Girl going, oh, please don't do that. Please.
I just like that she's from Jersey, man. I love Jersey girls.
You know Squirrel Girl is coming at some point.
I'm not looking. Like I said, I'm not looking forward to it. You know what? If they do it like they did that MODOK series on Hulu, to where it's just kind of an offshoot, it's really fine. That means I don't have to watch it, so long as it's not part of the MCU canon. I'm like, okay, great. I'm not going to watch it.
All right. So
tortured.
What are everybody's last thoughts on the Hawkeye trailer? What we saw with the screen share there. Going to you, William. Go ahead.
I'm just concerned with Moon Knight. That's my only concern. Me and you talked about it before. Can you do Moon Knight right on Disney Plus with its family ratings and things of that nature? That's my only concern. I'm interested too. I want to see it happen. But I just want to make sure that you do that character right. Because there's a lot of cursing, there's a lot of violence there, there's a lot of blood there, and I don't know if you'll be able to do it right on Disney Plus. Netflix, of course.
He looked kind of retarded.
He did.
You know what? I'll say this, and we brought this up on MCU Mondays as even though it's Disney Plus, the X-Men First Class, X-Men, the newer X-Men movies, the Dark Phoenix, the First Class, the Apocalypse, and Days of Future Past. Those are all on Disney Plus, and each one of those movies has at least one F-bomb in it.
That's true. So that's true.
And you can do one with and still get away with a PG-13 rating.
Could you change the rating on Disney Plus for Moon Knight though? Could you change that rating to more like an R rating and maybe get away with it that way?
I don't know because there's still stuff that's Fox properties that's
right.
Marvel like Deadpool that is, and Logan. Logan's not on Disney Plus right now.
Nope.
Well, so the Bleeding Edge is about as dark as it gets. Like we're darker than Dark Phoenix. So they need a whole new category.
Anything darker than Dark.
Anything darker than Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
That was awful.
Terrible movie.
We're barely legal Marvel at this point here on the Bleeding Edge.
That need to be on that man's list. Hell, it might be.
Yeah.
It's my number one.
My number
One
one.
of my favorite characters, but that was a horrible movie.
Oh.
Well, is anybody excited about Kate Bishop?
As far as for Hawkeye, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, Hawkeye and
No, David. I met for my Young Avengers amateur video. I was planning on putting together sometime.
You know what?
Kate,
you know what?
She's going to come up in. She's got another series coming up though.
Mm-hmm.
They're already talking about spinning her off.
Mm-hmm. And if you put her as one of the Young Avengers, she'll get over.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Hawkeye just because it looked fun. I'm thinking it's going to be the next. Oh, we got to watch this every Christmas.
I'll still watch it for Geek Gauntlet purposes, but I ain't happy about it.
Thank you, William, for bringing that up. Thank you.
It's like I gotta watch. Hey, listen, I gotta watch Batwoman for Geek Gauntlet purposes. So
hey, I have not given the proper due and plugged Geek News Now Network enough during the show. I need to. I'm not used to it yet. I need to kick myself in the ass a little bit and remind myself that I've got to plug the boss. You know what I mean? But no, we are now with GNN. That's why we're blessed with wonderful people like David and Andrew here on the show, and William, of course, who I've known for quite a while now, actually. And Geek News Now has a lot of really talented creators on there already. Before we even on the Bleeding Edge even stepped to them and even came on the roster. But I just want to put big thanks out to Damon and David and everybody at GNN, and hopefully we'll be able to roll in more GNN people onto these shows. But I want to also go ahead, William.
We need to get Cam on here. I swear, man. We need to get Cam on here. I
Cam
swear.
I had Cam on here for the Thor: The Dark World review.
He was? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been on.
Oh my goodness. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, he's got some nice looking tattoos on him, man.
So much fun.
So anyways, Jenae.
Yes.
What do you think, hon? How was your first experience on the Bleeding Edge? Did everybody treat you nice?
Yes, everyone treated me very nice. It was very cool.
I told you had nothing to worry about. You'll get better. Every time you come on, you'll get better. I can already tell. So
facts.
Thank you, most definitely. Thank you for putting yourself out there and being willing to take a chance and do something that you haven't done before and come on here and mix it up with all these freaking hardcore experienced content creators on here.
We're terrible. We're terrible. And we're terrible, and you survived, so you'll be out.
Woo! It makes me happy to see you smile and so much for the show and everything. And you seem to laugh a lot and enjoy yourself, so that makes me happy. But I also want to thank, of course, my GNN folk, David. Thank you very much, brother. Thanks for coming on again.
Hey, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Always have a great time.
Well, you're a great guest.
Oh, shameless plug though. Shameless plug.
Do it. Give it.
Hit it. Do it.
Go to geeknewsnow.net. We've got a ton of articles there. Andrew's one of our writers.
Yeah.
He's good stuff. We put out content all the time. We catch breaking stuff as it happens. We do lists. We're working up to the end of the year. We're going to be working on some, best of 2021 stuff.
Yeah.
Also on Monday nights on our YouTube page, we've got MCU Mondays with Chris and Debbie and myself. Also on our YouTube site, we have the Geek News Now Roundup, which I'm also a part of, where we just do kind of a. Speaking of which, I've got to record one of those after I get done here.
I do too. I'm right there.
Most definitely. And David, I want to try to see if I can figure out how to add some links to the descriptions of these videos for all those shows so that they're there for other people to be able to check out. Same thing with you, Andrew. Whatever I can do, man, whatever you can give me to work with or however I can obtain it, as far as your articles and whatnot, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and drop some links and stuff like that in the description on YouTube and on the podcast just so people can actually check out some of your content.
Sounds good. Yeah. We still need to watch. We still need to do the Dune review, Jeff. We still need to do Dune.
We got to do the Dune review. You're right, man. We got to plan it. You know what, Andrew? You know how it is, man. Dune is one of those movies where you really want to put together the right team for that. You know?
I agree.
And I am not one of those. I'm sorry.
I was waiting for it.
Nope. I still haven't. I've only seen half of it.
I haven't seen any, but I need to watch it.
I've only seen the original, so.
Yeah, I've only seen the original. I haven't seen the new one yet. Yeah, I haven't seen the new one yet.
The plan is to finish the new one tomorrow. That's the plan.
Y'all seen the original. I haven't seen the new one yet. So.
Wait, which original?
The original.
The original or the sci-fi remake that they did?
The original. I haven't seen the sci-fi. Yeah, I haven't seen the sci-fi remake.
The sci-fi did a remake in.
Oh, I did not like the sci-fi
early
one.
2000s.
I didn't see it.
Late 90s.
Okay.
William, you're not missing much. It looks like a knockoff of Star Wars.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah,
they're
trying.
It was Star Wars.
Star Wars is good, but then they tried to do the whole Queen Amidala hair and stuff like that, and when they did it's like,
man.
no.
That is the head writer. Was that
Waluigi?
Just
that
no.
Is the head writer.
Just no.
Marvel 2 right there.
Just no. Just no.
That was.
Can you imagine Can you imagine coming home from a hard day at work and you see that in your house? Hey, no.
Marvel 2. Give respect.
How did you get in? How did you get into my house?
No. As soon as I walk in the house, I'm walking right back out the house. Nah, cuz that thing that woo.
Don't lie, William. You know you matched with that. You matched with that dude or whatever on Tinder.
No, sir. That thing that was ugly. No, sir.
I don't know what that was, Dad. I don't know
what the heck that was.
I don't know what species that was.
The daughter of Jabba the Hutt.
Anyways.
That thing was ugly, boy. Ooh. You could have won this, man, for real.
Again, you want to know why I stopped that shit?
I know.
It's because I like to see your
expression.
facial expression after I show that stuff, Dad. It's hilarious. I'm telling you right now.
Oh gosh.
It is hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I hope it was worth it.
Got us all laughing.
And then William, go ahead, William.
Yes,
I
just want
to
say,
away, man. Geek Gauntlet Podcast. Plug away.
I just want to say real quick. I'm part of GNN also. I do the I do everything that David. Some of the stuff that David does, not all the stuff, but some of the stuff that he does. I got a commercial I got to shoot for Damon tonight as well. Also, but the main thing, Geek Gauntlet. Every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, William Morgan Media on Twitch. And then you can catch us by Friday on GNN YouTube's page. So if you missed a live show, you can go there and catch the replay. And it's just cool being a part of GNN. And not this week, but next week, I got a guest on there. I got Kat coming on. You guys know Kat, so she's going to be on with me, not this week, but next week. But yep, she's coming on with us. I love Kat because Kat watches anime where Shaw really doesn't, so we can definitely pick the
I love anime.
Yeah, and yeah, there you go. And I just real quick, I just want to invite all you guys. If you guys want to roll through a Geek Gauntlet, let me know. We'll get you announced. We'll get you promoted. You guys can come on too. And again, I've been meaning to do a GNN show where it's nothing but GNN staffers, get GNN out there some more, get the writers out, get some of the gaming crew out there. I've been meaning to do that for a while now. So if you guys want to come on, let me know. We're on. I think I'm in the group with you guys on Facebook. So definitely let me know there. You guys are more than welcome to come through.
Okay, guys, check this shit out.
Oh my God! Please! Oh, please! Please! Oh my God! Please! Oh! Oh! Please! Oh my God! Oh! Please! Oh my God! Please! Oh! Oh! Oh my God!
Yo, where's that guy going?
He going home to cook that thing up. That's where he going.
If he hurries up,
That
he
video
can
is
get the
way
chicken
too
back out
long.
before he digests it. And
Yeah.
cook the chicken too.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he does that.
You got to give that guy
That video is
props.
way too long.
Seriously. Okay, it was long. I agree, but that was a big ass fish.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I'm not obsessed with fishing or something like that. Like, I'm not like, down with fishing or whatever. But the fact that guy freaking used an entire chicken to pull that big ass fish out is insane to me. Either way, back to plugging shamelessly GNN, Geek News Now Network, before we get out of here. I just want to make sure that I, again, say thank you to everybody at GNN. And please, everybody out there, don't worry about the Bleeding Edge. We're okay. We're good. Make sure you subscribe to the GNN YouTube channel. Make sure you check out the GNN podcast. Make sure you check out the GNN website. It is professional as shit. Okay? Like, they ain't playing. They ain't playing, yo.
Shout out to my man Dave. Shout out to my man Dave Gamillion. Shout out to my man. That's my dude right there. I talked to him a little bit earlier. Shout out to my man Dave. I gotta give him all the love in the world for having us over there, man.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. David.
David and Damon, those are my guys right there.
All right, y'all. MCU's Bleeding Edge. You know how we do it. Peace.